Chelmsford then on Saturday. That must be just about geographically the longest trip of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fair old slap, definitely. Difficult place to go. It's always a strange atmosphere, I feel, when you play football with a running track around it. Same as Hornchurch and Enfield, so it brings its own challenges. But obviously, as you said, it's a very long trip, but one we're ready for and looking forward to.
That table's starting to settle down quite a bit, although it's unbelievably tight where you are. Do you think Chelmsford are out of it, though? I mean, they're down in ninth. I think they're 9 points behind.
No, I don't think they are. I don't think you can be with the amount of games left. They've got some good players. Chelmsford, they obviously had a very successful season last year. And obviously, they'll listen, any team's looking to win any game of football, but they'll definitely be looking at it as if they can get 3 points and they can make a stage a late claim for the playoffs. Definitely, they're definitely not out of it.
Sandrea's red card you were appealing. Have you had news on that?
It's happening now. Yeah, so it's 9 days after the game. The appeal is going through at 3 o'clock today. So by the time this press conference is finished, I'll know if he's available or not.
It's a bit ridiculous. You've got to wait this late in the day to find out whether you can pick out one of your centre halves.
Yeah, it's disappointing, but you know the FA have obviously I'm sure they've got lots of appeals to do. So it all we'll find out soon enough.
I'll see. How are you looking for centre backs at the moment?
We're okay. We're okay. I think, listen, everyone knows we're low. We're low on numbers in the squad. We'll hopefully Drea's appeal is successful. If it's not, we'll come up with a team that can go to Chelmsford and try and get 3 points. It's these things are sent to test you, so it's no problem. And I've got full confidence in whichever starting lineup I decide to go with.
I mean, you probably don't like the problems. Do you like working on the solutions?
It's whether I like it or not. It's part of my job, and it will never. Football's never plain sailing. Life's not plain sailing. So it's good opportunity for other players to come in and stake a claim and play. I think, the last few games, Finn Krask has played out of position, and I think he's been exceptional. So all the players in the squad are players that I believe in, and players that can do a job for us. We're coming into an incredibly busy period with 7 games in the next 3 weeks. We just got to go game by game, and injuries will occur. It happens, especially with so many games in such a short space of time. Let's just see. We're in the lap of the gods with Drea's appeal, so we might be fine for centre backs. We might be short.
I'm sure you've still got irons in the fire. You're hoping to bring in reinforcements over the next few weeks.
I'm actively looking. Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I've spoke to a few players. Spoke to one this week actually, I've just found out has gone to another team in our league. I never really got the sense in my gut that he wanted to join us. So, if the player doesn't want to come and is not 100% committed to us, I won't be going down that route signing that player. So, stars align and the right player at the right time. You just keep looking; they'll become available. But I definitely won't be signing any player for the sake of signing a player.
Was geography the issue?
A little bit, but then that makes me question the player's desire. If you're a football player and you're only going to play for teams in a certain postcode, you're not going to have a very long career.
No. Otherwise, how are you looking injury-wise?
So Jay is obviously the one who's still out and is still a concern. Jordan Dyer is back on the training pitch. Jordan trained with us on Tuesday, but we got to be very, very careful. There's an argument that I put him back in too quick against Maidstone, and he pulled up with a hamstring injury, but a different hamstring injury. But he won't be fit enough to play against Chelmsford on Saturday. He needs a good week's training, I think.
Of course, you're not a medical man. You obviously have to take advice from the medical team. How easy or difficult is that for you to digest and make the right decision, right calls on?
It is difficult. It is difficult because, as you say, there's there's two sides to it. I just want, is he fit? Yes or no, black or white. It's obviously a lot of grey areas with injuries as well. So, but I got on great with Regan, and sometimes I can be a little bit demanding of him. But we'll do ultimately what's right for the player, and what's right for the team as well. I mean, we're coming into a period of the season and a period that's absolutely chock-a-block. Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. So that's it sounds just saying it sounds but we'll just see where we are. I genuinely believe with a small squad and a period of games like that, you can only take it game by game. And if we're unfortunate enough on Saturday to pick up a few more injuries, then we have to dip into the loan market.
I mean, there is an argument that players prefer playing than training anyway, of course.
Absolutely, there is. I think it's one of those things as well. I mean, when I think 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and before that, players just played. Saturday, Monday, Saturday, Tuesday, you just played. Now I think it's become very fashionable, and he played on Saturday, can he play again on Tuesday? Of course he can. So it's I think it has gone a bit like that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
Another couple of injuries just to pick up on. You mentioned last week in the press conference that Jordan Young was 50-50 before Saturday's game. He came through that okay?
Well, he came through the 50 minutes that he played okay. Youngie's obviously got this ongoing groin problem that we're managing. He hasn't trained yet this week, and that's not to say that he won't be fit for Chelmsford. The biggest concern with Youngie prior to the Hornchurch game was he was ill. He didn't train all week. After the Worthing game, we didn't see him until the Saturday morning. It wasn't so much his groin that was the concern, it was that he was suffering from illness. I think Youngie's one that, and you get it at this stage of the season, he'll have to be managed now right through until the summer, basically.
And forgive me if I missed this, because I wasn't here last week. Manny Alassane went back to Derby.
Yeah, so Manny's loan got cancelled. He's going to be out for another couple of weeks yet, so he's gone back to Derby to continue his rehab, unfortunately.
After the game on Saturday, you came over to the pop side, as you always do, and mopped your brow. Did it feel like that? Did it feel like a bit of a nail biter at the end?
No, I just don't think we played well. Second half especially, for varying reasons. Having watched the game back, I feel like I know what we've done in previous games to be a lot more comfortable. That I don't think we did second half on Saturday. I don't think we got away with one. I think my goalkeeper played very well. I also think that, I was a bit harsh on the boys' first half. We were far from great, but Hornchurch come out of the traps, all guns blazing, and we couldn't quite get to grips with it, and arguably scored against the run of play. We did score against the run of play, there's no denying that. But we were comfortable first half. I thought we were scruffy and a bit leggy and just not quite at it first half. But I was a bit harsh on them at half time. But second half, we just sat too deep. We couldn't get up the pitch. In possession, I thought we were very, very poor. As poor as we've been for a long time. But we actually were very comfortable until Balanta scored, and then it became, when the opposition team is on top in a game, and if we'd finished 2-0, everyone would have gone, it's cool, we saw it out, it was a good clean sheet. Because they scored late on and they were on top, you're bound to get a few nerves. You're bound to. So, listen, I don't think... The irony is, once they scored, we actually saw the game out. They never actually got in our half, weirdly, and we couldn't get out of our half for 45 minutes. We did defend our box very, very well. So, sometimes it's hard to see positives after a game. But on reflection, we actually stopped a lot of crosses. We defended our box very well. Our clearances were great. We just didn't play very well. We didn't keep the ball very well. It wasn't sticking up top. The changes didn't really work. But we got 3 points, And one thing I will say about the boys is they dig in. they dig in, and we had to dig in. And it's never going to be every home game we're just going to run the game. It's not going to happen. And what I will say as well, I didn't say after the game, Western, Scannell and Balanta, even though I think they're, I might be right, 34, 35, 36 between them, they've got over 1,000 league games between them, and they're good players. You know, they're as good a front three as you'll come up against. You know, it was a fantastic 3 points in hindsight. Fantastic 3 points. Lots for us to work on. I think it's probably as poor as we've been at home all season, but we come out with 3 points.
And Hammy must be loving his football at the moment, isn't he? He seems to be enjoying every game.
Well, I think every football player is a confidence player. Goalkeepers definitely are, and Hammy is. I know Hammy inside out. I've managed him for 6 years now. I'm thrilled for him, really pleased for him, because he works tremendously hard at his game. And like I said afterwards, it's you know, it's people talk about bravery on a football. I wasn't brave enough to be a goalkeeper, no chance. And if the goalkeeper got sent off, I'd be the last one to put my hand up to go in goal. I'm not doing it. So you know, the thing is with a goalkeeper, you make a mistake, it's there for everyone to see, isn't it? You know, and when you do your job, which is making saves, you're there for everyone to see as well. But no, he's in a good run of form. Long may it continue.
You've got Brad Ash and Ben Seymour out on loan at the moment. Has the possibility of either or both of them, or either of them coming back at any stage arisen, or are you?
We have that option.
Yeah,
we have that option. I'm looking for something else.
Right. Is there a possibility that when Manny is fit again, is that you might try and do that one again?
Well, there is. I mean, we're actively looking now, and if something happens between then and now, if it's the right player, and I deem that to be the right player for us, then we'll go for it. I haven't found that player yet, for whatever reason, or I found them and they've decided not to join us, or you know, for whatever reason that they're not in the building. Manny's someone that I really like. I really like him, but again, he would have been out for 3 to 4 weeks of a hamstring injury. There's a huge risk bringing him back in.
The timing of it would be everything.
Exactly,
yeah.
But I would never say no to it. No.
It's not just us; it's everywhere in football at the moment, isn't it? This number of hamstring injuries that players appear to be picking up. You played for a long time. I don't know whether you ever had any hamstring injuries or well, it's. I'm sure you've seen it. You know, why are people, not just our players? It's happening everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are people? Is it down to because people are trying to be more athletic? Is it down to what's it all about with these hamstring injuries?
I think the game is quicker. It's a lot more explosive. It's like I'm not a medical person. It does seem to be more common now. I genuinely don't know.
You were slightly annoyed, weren't you, after Maidstone, because 2 players went on, and it's in the wake of that. Have you and Regan got together and said, look, hang on a minute, we need to think a little bit more about the warm-ups and all this sort of stuff?
It's the dreaded hamstring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it's the one injury that you can't take a chance on to play them.
No.
You know.
No.
No, the boys warm up properly.
Yeah.
My annoyance was that Will and Manny came on as subs and both pulled their hamstring.
Yes.
That was my annoyance.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't help that we lost the game as well. If we'd won, I wouldn't have been as annoyed. But and honestly, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. But it does become. Maybe there's always hamstring injury. I just don't know.
No.
I mean, lots of the pitches we played on were bogs, weren't they? I don't. Now they're quicker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul, we've got you and another star of the Taking Flight documentary that's gone on on YouTube this week. Good insight, good sort of in-depth analysis of the pressure that you're under from yourself in it. Were you open to doing that and talking that honestly? I know you always say you're quite an honest fella.
I think it's I think it's important. I think it's important. The Bryn consortium of from day one said to me they want total transparency with the fans, which is very rare. Now they can't have total transparency and me hide behind things and not tell the full truth. It's not. Listen, I'm not looking for comments or sympathy or anything. I've chose to be a football manager, and it's a tough job. It's a tough job if you're managing Real Madrid. It's a tough job. You know, it's I'll only ever be truthful and brutally honest. It's also an amazing job. You know, the highs are tremendously high and the lows are lowest. Same as being a player. I mean, I think I've seen a lot of it. Not as much as I haven't watched it all, like my missus and my family have, but or my mates have. It's fantastically well put together. Yeah. It's you know, and if it wasn't Torquay United, if it was another club, and I'd be watching it, because as a football fan, I think, you know, I'm sure it won't just be Torquay fans watching it. You know, it's quite, you know, seeing yourself being videoed during a game is like, you know, it's
they
not.
had to bleep out a lot of words.
Yes, I apologise for that. I do. It's you know, I'm sure it's going to be.
But it shows the grittiness of it and the reality of standing on the sides, watching a game of football where you've been training all week and telling the players to do one thing and
they don't do it.
And they don't do it.
Yeah, it's a good insight into it. It's you know, it's one of those things. I got interviewed ages ago now. Actually, I forgot all about it, to be honest. But I think it's going to be a monthly thing. So I haven't been interviewed since. So next episode, hopefully, I'm not in it as much.
Yeah, I was actually Stan from Torquay Talk. I was actually going to ask about taking flight on behalf of myself and the fan base. I think so many people were so warm to what you spoke about. And it was also a really important conversation in sport in general. I'm quite interested in the psychological side in terms of the business end of the season now, as well as tactical fitness, as we discussed today. How important is it kind of managing the psychological side of your players with like that extra adrenaline, and especially when you've got so much experience in your dressing room? How important are those players for maybe the less experienced players as we go towards the end of the season now?
Yeah, well, it's going to be key. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it, that yes, there's still 14 games to go, but we're into the last third. We all know we're in the final stretch. You know, in just a couple of weeks' time, we're down to single-figure games left, and then you are really in the home run. So there is obviously, it's going to come down to, like, as you quite rightly say, who can stay the fittest, who can stay, but also who can stay the calmest. You know, because in any football game, it goes like that, and the next 14 games are going to go like that. You know, that I think Dave quite said last week, 11 different leaders in the league. It's kind of unheard of. I think there's still 8 teams who could win the league, arguably. You know, and if they went on a great run, you know, it's about. I think you have to dip into people who have been there and done it before. I think that's key. But on the flip side of it, sometimes naivety is a good thing as well. Because if you're young and you've got no fear and you know, I think you can talk about it a bit too much at times. You know, and you can just. No one's born with fear. Of course it is. Of course it is. So, you know, if you're saying to your younger ones, just keep smiling, enjoy it, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. We'll end up where we end up. You know, the older ones will be a little bit more fraught, if anything, because it's, you know, there's going to be sleepless nights. There's 100%. There's going to be times where we think we've blown it. There will be. It's you've just got to try and stay calm. You've got to almost become more insular as a group and become very, you know, very guarded and very protective of each other. Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. Like I said the other week, you got to embrace it. You can't be in fear of it. So, yeah, it's but you're quite right. The experienced players have really got to step up now. In as much as performances, that'll take care of itself. Off the pitch and Monday to Friday, they've really got to step up.
It's a nice balance in the squad, actually, isn't it? You've got that youthful because they're naivety, and you've also got the sort of professional, been there, done it, or haven't done it as well.
And one thing we have got, Sam, is we haven't got one bad lad, which is really rare in a football changing room, because it's when you've got 18, 19 grown men together, you would expect some people who don't get on. That's human nature, but the boys are really tight. They get on really, really, really well. So we'll have a go.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.